All right, everyone, welcome to our June 1st. It's June. Happy June.
Can't believe it. I know. Happy June. Summer, almost.
My birthday month. I love this
Hey,
month.
mine's 6 months away.
So,
Darn it.
So June 1st, we are a weekend away from Data Driven,
Yes.
our annual customer event, which we'll be at next week, so we're excited for that. And we may actually do an Actifio OnTech from Data Driven. Stay tuned
need
on
to.
that. We definitely should.
That's totally.
All right.
Maybe on the beach or something. I wonder if you can do that.
Oh, that would be nice.
I know. Wouldn't that be good?
Make everyone jealous.
I know.
So, this is week 3, I believe. So
Yeah.
Jay's back. Jay was at Pure Accelerate last week.
Great show.
Yeah, heard we had some sweet guerrilla viral marketing that happened with one of our sales associates, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
At the Goo Goo Dolls concert.
The Google Dolls were great,
Sponsored
too.
by Rubric.
Yes, well, I know. But, yeah.
But hijacked by us.
Hijacked by us, exactly.
Exactly. So we're here this week again, and we've got our beer this week with the orange theme of Actifio and Data Driven. We're doing Julius from Treehouse. So last week, if you saw, we talked about Treehouse a lot with Chris and I, and we know that it's an awesome brewery in Charlton, Massachusetts. And Julius is really their flagship beer. So this has really got it all started for them.
Is it always available, or is it only available at certain times?
Still only available at certain times.
Yeah.
They don't brew it every week. And it is an IPA. It's delicious. It's like, I mean, you know, if you know Julius, like Orange Julius. The
Yes.
Stars,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like orange juice. It's super awesome. One of my favorite beers for sure. Excited to have it today on our session. So.
But you were also obsessed earlier while you were opening it with King Julius. Isn't that the one they released recently? That was like a big
yeah.
deal?
So for each of their flagship or core beers, they have variants. So whether they put a dry hop into it, or they make it from a single to a double IPA, there's a variety of things they do with it. One of the things they have made is called a King Julius, and I don't remember exactly what the King. It's the double IPA version of Julius.
Ah.
So and a lot of hype around it.
Clearly, and you were very engaged in that hype, I would say.
You know, it's the first time they had released it in 2 years.
Yes.
So a lot of hype. I got one of them, and it was pretty good, but a little disappointing. I think it didn't live up to the hype because the hype was so high, you know. But I was happy to try it, and I would get it again. That's for sure.
Well, the backstory around that was that Jason was very enthusiastic about it and disappointed because it's only open during certain hours. So he was able to get a King Julius with some very aggressive trading, which I think that you traded a lot for your King Julius. So I was hoping that it would be fantastic because you gave up quite a bit, I think.
In hindsight, I gave up more than I probably should have.
Yeah,
but that's the trading game, right?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Exactly.
And you tick the box.
Thank you.
And, you know, it's just kind of how it goes. So,
Yeah.
Smells awesome. Smells delicious. Citra hops in it, definitely. And I'm a Citra guy, I think I mentioned last week. So, I'll put it here.
Yeah, so they can see it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, man. Every time. It's so good. Once it hits your lips, you know, Frank the Tank.
It has this sort of an orangey flavor to it. I don't really like the really bitter ones. This is a little bit of the bitter side, not crazy, but it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it's a little bitter, but it's also got a pretty smooth mouthfeel. It's really good. So what are we talking about this week?
So we've got 4 topics.
All right.
Super exciting. Let's start with Facebook. Now, I have to preface this one by saying I'm not really a Facebook user. I have an account, but I like to never log in. But I noticed in the news that trending topics are going away, and I know that you have strong feelings about that.
Well, I'm a big Facebook guy, not gonna lie. I use it for keeping in contact with friends, for beer trading and stuff. So I'm on it probably more than I should, to be honest with you. And I actually use the trending topics box on the right hand side, just kind of see what's going on. Now there's a lot of controversy about that because there was the editorial team from Facebook was fired because they were saying that the titles were misleading or they were taking too many liberties with them. Also, I saw a statistic that only about 1.5% of clicks happen through that trending topics.
Interesting.
So I think they're trying to essentially find a new way to get news to people. And, you know, with their whole campaign about being trustworthy, you know, with all the Russia stuff, right? They're trying to just revamp that model. So I guess it's understandable why they're doing it, especially if it's such a low click rate on it. So.
But was it a curated list? Like, do they review it? Did they review it? Or is it literally just mathematically what people are clicking on and viewing the most?
No idea.
No idea. All right.
No idea.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Clearly they didn't think it was valid.
I don't work
so
at
it's
Facebook.
gone. Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go.
Let's call
There
him
we
Suck.
go. Yeah, there you go.
See what
Yeah,
he says.
exactly. Your buddy.
Yeah. All right, so second topic is something interesting I found was that Microsoft has a larger company valuation than Google.
Which is so interesting because Microsoft has gone through these ups and downs where at one point Windows was the world, right? And they ruled the world and there was nothing else.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it reached the point where, we don't want Windows anymore, and it's Amazon Cloud, whatever, and they're in big trouble.
A lot of misses with, Vista.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that, right? So
And now here they are, and they've sort of come out of that, and they're really focused on the cloud, give them credit, with Azure, and doing a good job there. So it's quite surprising to me that a company that, a few years ago would have been thought of as like an old school, kind of less interesting company, has really done an amazing job in turning them, really focusing on the next thing.
Well, they've really turned themselves around with their new CEO.
Yeah.
They scrapped the Windows Phone program.
Right.
So they've really focused their efforts, and it's paying off, obviously.
It's quite impressive.
Now, they are number 3 behind, guess who? Who do you think it is?
Well, I would say number 1 is AWS, maybe IBM, and then Azure, maybe?
So don't think just clouds, think just companies.
Valuation-wise.
Yeah,
I was thinking
valuation.
of Azure.
You're thinking of just cloud.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
See, y'all work all the time for this guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Apple?
Yeah. And?
I should know this, and for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Help me out. Give me a hint.
Starts with the same letter.
Starts with the same letter. A.
And you just mentioned them.
Amazon.
Yes.
Of
So
course.
Apple's number 1, Amazon's number 2, Google's number 3, and Microsoft is number 3, Google's number 4. Now, they flip-flop. I was reading the article that Google and Microsoft kind of flip-flop back and forth in that 3 and 4 spot, but their valuations to tell you, Microsoft today is now valued at $753 billion market cap, and Google, or Alphabet, is kind of what they are,
You're right.
is $739.
Gotcha. Huge.
So,
Huge.
they've done a great job, and who would have thunk a few years ago? Same with Apple, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Apple, they were dead.
Yeah, they were a while, right?
You get the iPhone, you get the iPod,
Right.
And they've revitalized themselves as well.
True. I still have somewhere in my drawer an old iPod with a hard drive in it, and I actually am aging myself. At one time, I had a really, really awesome 128 kilobyte Mac
128 kilobytes.
Macintosh computer.
I remember, so dating myself, back in elementary school, we'd play like Number Crunchers and Number Munchers, Oregon Trail on our Mac there. It was pretty old school.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the next thing I was thinking about is this idea of cell phone shipments. I heard they've declined for the first time. Is it a quarter? I think it's quarterly, quarter on quarter, or year over year. What is it? But it's declined, right?
Yeah.
Year over year.
So year over year. So
Crazy.
for the first time ever, cell phone shipments have declined. Now they declined by 0.5%.
Yeah.
So nothing super significant. But it is significant in the fact that it is the first time ever.
Yeah.
Now, they grew by 2% last year,
Yeah.
and this year they've actually decreased by 0.5%. And I've got some theories as to why.
Tell me.
I think first and foremost, everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah, well, that's true.
The market's been saturated,
Right.
There's no real new markets to enter
Right, that's true.
for cell phones.
Not here. Other
No.
countries for sure, but not here in the
But
U.S.
even in that sense, you've got this whole used cell phone
Right.
market.
Yeah, that's true.
That, they just trickle down to that sense. And also the fact that these new cell phones that come out, well, they're not really differentiated from the older versions. So there's less incentive for people to upgrade when a new phone comes out. So I think that's affecting the shipments as well.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, a bunch of people here, I'm an Android guy. I know we've talked about in the past, you are too. A bunch of people here have iPhones. iPhone 10 obviously is the pretty cool thing. But I've heard people who actually own them say, yeah, they're good, I like it, but they aren't sort of blown away. And I sort of had this vision that people would be blown away by it.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised they haven't really been. In the Android world, my wife just got a new phone like this week, and it's a Galaxy S9 Plus, a Samsung.
Nice phone.
And again, nice phone. Is it really that different from an S8? I'm not sure. It looks kind of the same. I mean, there is stuff inside that's a little different, but not
Faster, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
But not enough to spend the $300-400 plus.
Well, she wants a new one. She'll have her 2 years. We'll get the newest one. But I agree with you.
So I think maybe these cell phone manufacturers need to differentiate a little bit more, or come up with a different incentive, right? Maybe, instead of having every 2-year refresh, 1-year refresh, and that could help boost service, of course, right? So,
What is interesting is when we bought the phone, we were looking at the cheapest way to get it. And surprisingly, the cheapest way to get it, we happen to use Verizon, was not through Verizon, but actually from Samsung directly. And you can get it from Samsung at a significant discount at what you can get it from Verizon for. Just thought was interesting. So again, same thing. They're trying to probably move more phones because they might be feeling the pressure about not selling as many as they'd like.
Yeah, I mean, probably a race to the bottom, like a lot of things.
Yes, exactly.
All right, last but not least, topic 4, Solo, the movie. So we got a little Cisco and Ebert going on.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't seen it yet. You did
Yes,
see it.
Yes.
But what we've heard and what we saw and why it's relevant is that the revenue from this movie has been way, way down, below expectations,
Right.
pretty significantly, like tens of millions of dollars below. So we're wondering what's causing that. Is it a flop? And give some personal opinions on why Solo isn't doing as well as people expected.
So first, I would say I have seen it, but I will not give spoilers for those who have not. And the number was like 150, 130, 150 was the goal. They did like, I think 100. And this is over a big Memorial Day weekend.
Which is the box office opening.
Yeah, and truthfully, the weather wasn't that great anyway, so it'd been a great weekend to go to the movies. That's what we did. But evidently, not many people did, or those who did didn't go to Solo. It's an interesting movie. It's different. The thing I would say is it didn't get great reviews, though. I saw Rotten Tomatoes had, I think, 71% or something. Just not that great. And you wonder, are people just sort of, I don't know, not sure about it?
There isn't a lot of hype about
No.
it, I feel. When Rogue One came out,
Yeah.
I felt there was a lot of hype about that. I saw that. I loved that movie. It was great.
It's a great movie.
But what the thing, I think the difference is that movie was less about the characters. It was about the story and bridging, Return of the Jedi and, Jeez, I'm way off now. Sorry. Bridging Revenge of the Sith and
exactly.
A New Hope.
Exactly.
So that made it more interesting. I think
Yeah.
it drew in a bigger audience.
Yeah.
This one, because it's so character focused.
Right.
I mean, if you don't like the character, what's the incentive to see the movie? And then, of course, this character itself, Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, a lot of the younger generation doesn't even know who that is really.
Right,
Like they
right.
saw him in, 7 and 8.
Right.
When The Last Jedi was 8 and 7 was Force Awakens.
Right.
They saw him, but actually, was he even in The Force Awakens? He wasn't. He was.
He was.
He was because
Yeah.
Rey found.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is his spaceship?
Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
Of course.
Found it in the desert, flew
Yes,
out, then they
exactly.
trapped him in those
Right, yeah.
ugly things.
Those
running
monsters were
around.
eating people,
Yeah.
right.
That was 7. Then
Yeah.
he got killed in 7.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not a spoiler for you.
Yeah.
Han Solo got killed in 7.
Oh, no!
And he kind of went away. So
Yeah.
for the younger generation, they're like,
Right.
who is this guy? Just an
Right.
old guy who was Ben's father, Ben, also known as Kylo Ren's father, right? And whatever, he's dead. So the younger generation probably doesn't make that connection of that he's an important character. So it's for like the older generation, us, right, who know him from the original 4, 5, 6 movies as a very dynamic character who accomplished a lot of things before even coming into the Star Wars series. So I think that affects it as well,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
I found it a little confusing, just the sort of things, the way they went from one topic to another and how they related. And then it had some interesting themes on, how you should treat other people and what you should be thinking about with other people. And I don't want to give away anything more, so I won't go too far into it. But literally it was one of these ones where I saw it with my family and my sister, and on the ride home, we were all talking about, what did we just see? Like, what just happened? Like, how does this, and there's a big question as well, which is again, not giving it away, but thinking about how does this fit into the larger Star Wars canon? Like in all these different episodes, where does this fit in? And some percent you're like, all right, I know, because, we got the Millennium Falcon and we talk about the New Hope, blah, blah, blah. But it's more like, how does it fit into 1, 2, and 3? And there's a little bit of a twist in it, which I, again, won't reveal, that really leaves you scratching your head saying, wait a second, how does that fit into all this? I literally had to go to Google and Google it to try to figure it out. So that's good and bad. It felt like a little too confusing, where some of these things are pretty straightforward, and they kind of, like the last one you talk about, Rogue One, it fit right in, right? It was really clear.
He cleared up a lot of questions.
Where this one had answered some questions, but left a lot more open. So it's just interesting.
Yes, I wonder if they'll do any more character-focused ones
I don't know.
versus story-focused.
Well, I heard this week that they're talking about doing one on Boba Fett, which is, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which is a relatively small character. Although he was bigger in the earlier ones. In the ones that 4, 5, and 6, he showed up once, but we saw more Django Fett.
Right, he was a minor character in 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Bounty hunter, right? Jabba had hired him. But then in 1, 2, 3, right, you've got Django, the father, and Baba's the son. You kind of learned his backstory a little bit, but you don't really dive too deep into it. So that's interesting. Now, a question for you, since we're talking about Solo: who shot first?
They don't talk about that, and I know there's a big question about that. I am
big Twitter, internet debate about it.
I hate to say this, I'm a big Star Wars guy. I don't know that it even matters. But I think the other guy did. I don't think
You think
Han
so?
did, yeah.
I don't know. I think Han did.
I don't know.
Come on, he wasn't just a. I mean, he was a he was a good guy in the movies, but before that, wasn't he like a mercenary or? Like
He is basically a smuggler mercenary.
Smuggler, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's what he is. So you're right. He could have shot first.
Who knows?
I have given very little thought to that.
We'll leave that question up to the audience.
Exactly. Why don't you tell us?
Leave a comment on the
Yes.
on the video to tell us who you think shot first.
Cool.
All right.
Excellent.
With that,
Cheers, everyone.
Another Actifio OnTech done.
Yeah.
See you at Data Driven next week.
Yes.
We'll do this again,
Awesome.
and see you then. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.